My name is Victoria Reynolds, and I am 25 years old. I live in a quaint little town where everyone knows each other's business and secrets are as rare as a quiet park on a sunny day. My family has always been part of the upper crust of society, which includes parties at the country club and charity galas with sparkling chandeliers. To outsiders, I seem to have a perfect life, but beneath the surface, things were far from ideal. You see, my family's wealth came with a price, a silence that suffocated the truth. My father was a successful businessman who built an empire, but his dark past cast a long shadow over my life. The things he did to accumulate wealth were whispered about behind closed doors, but he assured me that silence was the greatest virtue. I adored my father, but I struggled with the weight of his secrets. One day, that veil of silence was shattered. I received a call that would change everything. My father had died unexpectedly, leaving me with a hefty inheritance that filled my bank account but deprived me of my peace. During the reading of his will, I discovered that he had left me not just wealth, but a web of lies. I learned that my sister, Sarah, who appeared to have everything going for her, had been scheming against me for years. She had enjoyed the privilege of being the favorite child while I remained in the shadows, silent and compliant. Moreover, she had manipulated our father into believing that I was unworthy of my inheritance. The moment I saw the look of triumph on her face during the will reading, it made my blood boil. I felt cheated out of my rightful place, robbed not just of my inheritance, but of my dignity. In my anger and frustration, I vowed to take back what was rightfully mine. I started looking into Sarah's life, piecing together her schemes and tactics. I believed that confronting her directly would be a mistake, so I decided to play a different game. I initiated a series of legal battles, claiming her business dealings were fraudulent and that she had misused familial assets. I did my homework and hired an attorney who specialized in these cases, thinking I could outsmart her. I believed I was on a path to reveal her deceit, to turn the tables back in my favor. However, each effort faced a barrage of setbacks. Sarah, with her charm and connections, was always a step ahead. She used every tactic available to undermine my claims, portraying me as the unstable sibling who could not manage wealth. As I faced setbacks, my confidence began to wane. I felt isolated and alone, the weight of my family's legacy heavy on my shoulders. Each time I lost a battle, it seemed my chances of winning the war grew slimmer. The failed attempts left me questioning my sanity, and I began to doubt whether I deserved the inheritance after all. My friends, once encouraging, started to pull away. The whispers of my sister's machinations traveled through town, painting me as the villain instead of the victim. I was sinking into a pit of despair, my dreams of justice slipping away, feeling as if my only inheritance was silence. But there comes a point when sorrow turns to resolve. Fueled by a newfound fire, I devised a final plan. I would expose my sister's lies in a way she could not control, something that would shatter her carefully crafted facade. I gathered evidence of her fraudulent business practices and went undercover, connecting with former employees who had witnessed her unethical ways. I organized a press conference, intent on revealing the truth to the public. The day of the conference arrived, and I could hardly breathe. Standing in front of the cameras, I held up documents as my heart raced. I laid bare Sarah's lies, exposing her for the cunning manipulator she was. The moment my voice rang out, something shifted in the air. I could see the shock on her face as the reality of her betrayal dawned upon her. She thought she could silence me, but I stood there, voice steady and unwavering. The truth took flight, and soon her carefully constructed empire began to crumble in the public's eye. In that moment, I realized something important. Reclaiming my life was about more than just wealth. It was about standing up against the silence that had plagued our family. I sought freedom, not only from Sarah but from the weight of unspoken family truths. The aftermath was chaotic. While some viewed me as a hero, others still clung to their unhealthy admiration for Sarah, vowing to support her no matter what. In the end, while I did not recover my financial wealth completely, I did discover something far more precious: my voice and the strength to stand for truth. I chose to use my newfound freedom in positive ways, like starting a foundation for those affected by family toxicity, ensuring that others would not have to suffer in silence as I had. Although the journey was painful, I emerged stronger. My life was not about the riches left behind, but about the freedom gained from breaking the silence. I would always be Victoria Reynolds, the girl who inherited clarity and resolved to change the narrative of her family legacy.